Hey YouTube, let's talk about counting calories and how important is counting calories to long-term weight loss and keeping the weight off. Unfortunately, the research shows us that the vast majority of people that tries to lose weight these days just end up putting it back on in the long term, whether it be 1, 2, or 3 years down the road. Um, it's about 90% in North America, people that try to lose weight will eventually, within 3 years, put the weight back on, which is awful. However, having said that, it's a reality. And one of the things that when you first start losing weight that a lot of people, including myself, will say is you got to count calories, right? You got to know how effective is calorie counting for losing weight. Is it really that important? For the average person who's never dieted, who has no idea about food, doesn't know protein, fats, carbs, doesn't know micronutrients, just eats normal food, yeah, counting calories is super important, right? Because you need to know, like, I need to eat 2,000 calories a week or 2,000 calories a week, 2,000 calories a day in order to lose weight. Well, if you're just eating your normal and all of a sudden you calculate it up and you're eating 4,200 calories a day, you're eating too goddamn much. That's why you're fat. So, counting calories is incredibly important initially to losing weight, just so that you have the ability to say, like, okay, this is what I need to be eating in a day. This is what that looks like. But down the road, how important is it to count calories? What the research shows is that for long-term weight loss and keeping the weight off, counting calories isn't really as important as most people think. It is an excellent way to initially get the weight loss going. I myself, about 4.5, 5 years into this fitness game, I still do count calories every day. No, I know I'm going against what I'm talking about right now with the research, but of course I'm a little bit different than the average Joe that just goes to the gym. My goals are to get bigger, stronger, faster, better every single day that I go in, and in order to do that, I personally need that micromanagement. But if you're just looking to lose 20, 30 pounds, it's not actually that important. What they've actually found, the research shows that the counting calories is important initially to teach you what you should be eating in a day, right? So it's not about turning around and saying, like, oh, I have to count calories the rest of my life or I'm going to get fat again. No, it's turning around and saying, well, I should have that much protein and that much fat and that much carbs, and I shouldn't be eating 4 donuts at lunch because that doesn't fit my calories in a day. And all of a sudden you start realizing over time, oh, I shouldn't be eating 4 donuts every day at lunch. That's why I got fat. So all of a sudden, 6 months down the road, you've lost, I don't know, 20, 30 pounds, whatever the hell you've lost. Good for you. And you don't have to count calories as much, but you have to be like food conscious, right? Understanding that, yes, you maybe want 4 donuts, don't eat 4 donuts. Maybe have half a donut. Sharesies, boop, right? That's what it's about. So counting calories down, like the long-term effects of weight loss, it's not as effective as just being food conscious and understanding what you should and shouldn't be eating in a day and approximately how much you should be eating. I mean, the reality is we lose and gain fat every single day throughout the day. Your calorie burn undulates. And moreover, a weekly versus daily calorie intake is important. So if you have a donut on Monday, don't have a donut on Tuesday. Share your donut on Monday and don't have one on Tuesday either is another really good option. A lot of people at my work will turn around and be like, "Do you want a donut?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." They're like, "What if we split it?" Yeah, I want half a donut. So I am. Don't fucking judge me. But the point is, we now know that calorie counting is not as important for long-term weight loss maintenance. The whole purpose of calorie counting does come down to teaching you how to eat right. It's not as important to count calories 3 years down the road, but it is very important in the initial probably 6 months that you first start trying to lose weight. There's not really much else to say on this, guys. I mean, it's an interesting amount of research that was done into it because they asked the question, like, they have people like on The Biggest Loser or just the average Joe that loses 20 pounds and then, a year later they've gained 30 back. It's because they stopped counting calories and they went back to their old diets. Well, they did it wrong. But if you start looking at what you're eating, understanding like what you're eating, how you're eating, and what your portions should look like, that's actually apparently more important, and science backs this up, than counting your calories every day for the next 80 years. I said that I'm like 4.5 years into this and I still count calories every day, but then again, I have different goals than the average person. Most people don't want to powerlift. Most people, I'm not a bodybuilder, but most people don't want to bodybuild. They just kind of want to look good. They don't want to have a gut. They don't want to have big moobs. They don't want cellulite on their bum. And those are all obtainable without having to micromanage, right? You get that initial weight loss, and to keep it off, you just got to be a little bit conscious of what you're eating. It's that simple, guys. Questions, comments down below, and as always, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.